Дай, пожалуйста, наушники.
Hello.
Hi guys, today I'll be without video. I have low internet connection.
It's alright.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello, hello.
how are you doing, guys?
Good, how are you?
Good, good, thank you. So let's wait another 2 minutes and we can start.
Hi.
Hi everyone. So another 2 minutes and I will start. So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. And then... So today's topic is unit and component level testing. So I will share my screen now. 1 second. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So today's topic is unit and component testing. So as we know, and as you'll see, unit testing is the first level of testing. And so what is unit testing? Unit testing is a type of software testing where like individual units of components are tested. So unit testing is performed by devs usually, but nowadays SDEVs doing this unit testing as well. So unit testing is a white box testing, and purpose is to validate that each unit of the software code performs as expected. Why we use this unit testing? Unit test helps to fix bugs as early as possible, and because like if it's not, it will cost us like expensive. So it helps developers to understand the testing code base and enables them to make changes quickly. And it serves as a project documentation. Unit test helps with code reuse. So if you write unit testing once, you can use it as long as you can use it. So unit testing tools, as we know, we already know about JUnit. There's also like tools called Emma and NUnit that are also popular nowadays. Emma is based on Java language, and NUnit is for all net languages. So if Emma is also like can be automated, NUnit mostly used for manual scripts. So advantages of unit testing is that you can write codes like independent, independent of each other. So unit testing allows the programmer to refactor code at a later date and make sure the model still works correctly. the procedure is to write cases for all functions, all methods that whenever a change causes a fault. So let's say you have an app, and for every text, for every components of it, you need to write unit tests. So you, if like all unit tests pass, you can be like sure that your program like for like 50% is working good, and other tests like in SDLC in lifecycle will pass like probably, because like unit test is the first level of testing. So disadvantages of it is that um, testing can be expected to catch every error in a program. Unit testing by its very nature focuses on a unit of a code. So it can't like evaluate the integration works. So let's say when you uh, so you tested like units by itself, but when you do integration test, when they should work together, it can give you some errors. So it's recommended unit testing be used in conjunction with other testing activities. So best practice for unit testing is that every case should be independent. In case of any enhancements of change in requirements, unit tests should not affect it. So test only one code at a time. Bugs identified during unit testing must be fixed before proceeding to the next phase in SDLC. So the next phase is component testing. We will talk about this later. And adapt a test as your code approach. The more code you write without testing, the more paths you have to check for errors. So here you can see like before providing like tests, you should write as many test cases as you can, like to execute every possible actions in there. So for summary, for unit testing is defined as a type of software testing where individual units and components tested, and also it should be independent. Um, and unit testing increases the speed of development. So myth in like this testing environment is that some people think that unit testing will take some time, like time costing, but it's the trust is that it increases the speed of development. So programmers think that integration testing, which will catch all errors and do not execute the unit test. But once unit tests are integrated, very simple errors which could have very easily found and fixed in unit tests take a very long time to be traced and fixed in other testing types. So that's why the unit testing is very important. Okay. So now I want to like show you some a quick example of like unit testing. Just 1 second. For example, let's open Instagram. Like some page. Instagram, let's say. Okay, doesn't matter. So here, for example, where you see like this Gmail, so this like Google icon is also a unit test. So you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so everything here, like every part of it, if we will open, okay, let's open the first page. So unit testing is not only this like login and password. This is also like everything, like this string here, like install this app, everything here, like API, this everything is also unit testing. For example, if you put wrong string here, like instead of like installation, you put grammatical errors, it also considered as a unit testing. So the next one is component testing. Component testing is defined as a software testing type in which the testing is performed on each individual component separately without integrating with other components. So generally, any software as a whole is made of several components. Component level testing deals with testing these components individually, and it's performed by the testers, by QA. So here, login and password in Instagram is a one component. So when you open when you put your login and password, you will go to home page. It's another component. So like each component will be tested individually here, but in the next level, integration testing, it will be tested together. So if we put a login and password, it should go to home page. This is integration test. But when we test like opening this home page by itself, login and password working by itself, it's a component testing. Why component testing? There will be a test strategy and test plan for component testing, where each and every part of software is considered individually. So before executing component testing, you should create test cases, test plan, test strategy, test specification, and component test report. So it's a very huge document by itself, but it can also avoid any like errors in the future that can cause be like, by component itself. So for each of this component, a test scenario will be defined, which will be further brought down into a high-level test cases, low-level detailed test case, and prerequisites. So when to perform component testing? So component testing will perform right after unit testing. So developers built like unit testing, and in this build, we are providing this component testing. Major functionality of all the components are tested in this phase, and entry criteria for component testing is that all test cases in unit testing are like passed, and it should be developed well. And exit criteria is that the functionality of all components should be working fine, and there should be not present of any critical or high defects and defect log. So there should be no defects, like except small ones. So there's two main parts of component testing depending on the depth of testing level. So first is component testing in small and component testing in large. So when component testing is done in isolation with other components, it's called as component testing in small. So this is done without considering integration with other components. When component testing is done without isolation with other components, so it's called component testing in large. So this happens when there is a dependency on the functionality flow of the components, and thus we can't isolate them. So there will be some cases when we should test like these two components together, not like big one, but to check if it works. So summary here is that component testing plays a crucial role in finding the bugs. Before we start with the integration testing, it's always recommended to perform the component testing in order to ensure that each component of an application is working effectively. So so we're done with presentation. So here are also some like examples. Let's open Airbnb. So here we see like on this website, here's like every component like this PL like logotype like button, this strings, everything is unit testing. And this one like from where to where, this is all one like component. This one is unit test. So when we test like this individually, it's called um, component testing in small. But when we do like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 components and press this find button, it will be components testing in large, because we're testing like this 4 components without isolation or of each other to check if this find button is working fine. So this is the component testing. And the advantage of unit testing is that we can easily find the defects with some like strings here, like if we have some errors in spelling or other. So yeah, this one is also like 1 component, 2 component. So basically, like everything, like every test, every big test is made from unit and component testing. So that's why they are very important in our test cases. So yeah, this is the unit and component testing. So do you have some questions? If you have some questions, we can do Q&A now. And if not, I'm done for today. Yes. About unit and component testing level.
Malika, can you please send your presentation?
Yes, sure, I can send it. So, and also a very important like part of a component testing is to create good, well-written documentation for it before like before doing this one. For example, the advantage of unit testing also is that we can execute our code, like our test cases, without waiting for the whole program like is writing. Like we can execute them right away after like each unit is written. So, but for component testing, like once this unit testing is built, we should start writing the component test strategy, how it will be executed, and every test scenarios are very important here. And yeah, so I will send this presentation in Slack, and if you don't have question, I'm done for today. Yeah, I don't have this Kahoot game because I didn't understand like how to create this game. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is
Thank you, Malika.
unit testing.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you all for attending. I appreciate this one. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.